video is sponsored by 1/6 Society, an international group for 1/6 scale toy collectors. Join them on Facebook right now, link is in the description. They rock!
Hey guys, I'm Andy, I'm here at the Sideshow booth. Welcome to the show. Okay, so this is our new Batman Classic. This is the prototype right here, so there's a lot of information not quite available, so you're not going to know the price quite yet, the release date, but this is our first look at a new Batman Classic prototype 6 scale figure. Excellent points of articulation on this one. There's a slight change in the body structure to give much more flexibility, much more posability. This is a Walter O'Neill sculpt, so you get to see like it's his classic style. You'll see him on our comic book Thor, our comic book Ghost Rider, our comic book Daredevil, all by the same guy. Really trying to go for an all-time classic Batman, not tied to a specific comic, movie, anything like that, just a classic take. All tailored fabric, lots of great details, more accessories kind of coming soon. Okay, so this is our comic book Lobo figure. Same again, trying to do our iconic version of a character. It's Sideshow's own take. We have this wonderful opportunity to really bring our personal vision of the character to life. Lots of great detail on this. I love that he has an actual metal chain. We also embedded magnets in his forearms so that you can wrap that chain around his arm for that look. The awesome little mini denim. I absolutely love tiny denim. It's so cool. Bunch of great weathering details, lots of great touches. He's got his awesome little pins and badges all over his torn leather jacket. It's just a sick piece. Runs about 250 bucks. It's going to be shipping very, very soon, like next month, I believe. Okay, so this is a Snowtrooper Commander. We're really excited about this piece. This has been one that we've been working on for a while. We just got approval recently to finally release this. Perfect new addition to our Hoth lineup. That's going to go alongside, you know, all of our Hoth pieces, all the way up to the giant probe droid. You know, there's going to be more Hoth pieces to come. This is not the end of the line. All the little touches that make him the Snowtrooper Commander, you know, there's the detailing in the boots, the gauntlets, the fact that he has a sidearm, separate chest armor, all indicates the Commander's status. This is the first time people have seen this head sculpt really in all of its glory. We did have an alternate head sculpt that was at Celebration that was damaged in transit. So this is the first time we've really got to show off the final mask in all of its glory. So this again, this is the prototype, but we're looking at like $209 shipping like early next year. So we're pretty excited about that, and again, there's more Hoth pieces to come.
This guy.
Oh dude, this is the exciting one. So with this one, we only got to bring it out today. Lucasfilm themselves wanted to unveil this piece, so it was on the panel this morning. As soon as Lucasfilm unveiled it, we got to bring it out and finally put it in the display case and show people. This is like one of our better kept secrets. You know, we've been working on this for a long time. Very excited to be returning to the Mythos line. One of our most popular lines of statues now coming into 6 scale. And that's right, this is a line. This is the first of a new piece, of a new run. Detail on this is sick. There's so much great stuff. He has multiple lightsabers. He has Qui-Gon's lightsaber. He has a backpack full of all his gear from all of his adventures. The idea is that this is a young Obi-Wan, that before you see him in New Hope, like wandering the wastelands, becoming the hermit character that we all know and love. This guy who's a veteran already of the Clone Wars, this warrior character, and his backpack represents basically his journey. There's pieces of clone trooper armor in there. There's loads and loads of crazy touches. Just one that people are going to pore over. And the portrait, I'm just geeking out about this. This is definitely a personal fan favorite for me. The idea was to capture this beautiful young Alec Guinness portrait, and then there's little touches in there. There's little touches in there that hint at a Ewan McGregor as well. I can't even talk enough about this. I'm just geeking out. Okay, so this is Sideshow's comic book interpretation of Ghost Rider, added to our 6 scale line for our comic book inspired Marvel figures. It's kind of awesome. We have 2 Ghost Riders in the booth right now. We have Hot Toys Awesome One, and we have ours, and it's kind of fun having multiple versions of the character. Ours is definitely comic book inspired. He has a hinged jaw, so you can have him screaming. All tailored clothing. He has his biker chaps, he's got his biker jacket, all faux leather. You can actually remove that jacket. You can customize the way that he looks. Real steel chains wrapped around his shoulders back there, weighted at the back. And then the Hellfire Flames are the exclusive on that one. So that one's running around $220, and then shipping, I think it's the end of this year, moving into early next year. This piece also has a new points of articulation, extra moving, extra posability, something that we're pushing much further. I think you're going to be excited with this one. There's a lot more posability options that are available to you. Okay, so once again, our comic book Marvel line. This is our take on Thor. He's kind of across different genres, different comic periods, trying to do once again like an idealized, stylized version of Thor. The fur collar is removable, but then we have a huge amount of detail in the leatherwork, in the cut and sew. Awesome portrait, actually showing like an aggressive Thor, which I really enjoy. The winged helmet, obviously invoking the earlier Thors right there, even down to the tiny little detail on his hammer, all his worthiness presented there for you. And the exclusive on this, I kind of dig this, is Thor Frog, which is so cool. Now this isn't actually a 3D, this isn't actually a digitally designed piece. This was hand sculpted. One of our guys in-house actually hand sculpted a teeny tiny little Thor frog, which made us all kind of go squee in the office. And I'm so glad that he ended up as the exclusive for this piece. Once again, you're looking around $250, shipping mid next year. Okay guys, so we have our interpretation of Daredevil right here. This is a Walter O'Neill piece. The idea behind this was he wanted to work in as many different layers of iconography, symbolism, little in-jokes and nods for real hardcore Daredevil fans, because he's one himself. You've got the armor design is supposed to invoke in the silhouette a little bit of the armored Daredevil, which is one that maybe wasn't hugely popular, but we're fans. So though he doesn't have the armored Daredevil look, his silhouette captures bits of that with the chevrons, a little bit of the shoulder padding. We have an insane cut and sew, so many layers of detail, so many different textures, printing on fabric, on layers of fabric and printing. It's just intense. Then you have all of these little elements that hint at the religious iconography, different parts of his life. You see in the negative space of his collar is almost like a negative of a priest's collar. Then we have little things like his knee pads, the negative space, the way that these knee pads are angled, they make kind of a cross. Even the soles of his shoes have cross symbolism in them. Then you'll see his billy club holder this design is almost like a forked devil tail. He comes with real metal billy clubs. These are customizable. There's different pieces and accessories, so you can turn them into his nunchuck chains. You can turn them into a staff, or you can have them as billy clubs. The exclusive for this is going to be the walking stick, his cane, his blind man stick, which is a really, really beautifully detailed, almost like a checkered pattern on it. That again adapts with all these pieces so that he can have his cane that then turns into nunchuck, staff, every configuration you could possibly think of. Now this piece is super, super crazy posable, all the way down to the little ankle pivots. There's loads and loads of articulation on this guy, so I think he's going to be a really dynamic one for people's collection, and one that especially like photographers are going to really enjoy posing in different ways. So this is the Dengar and Zuckuss right here, the next two pieces in our bounty hunter line, in our sort of scum line, the scum and villainy of the world. Loads of great cut and sew, lots of texturing, lots of detail to really try and capture these characters at their greatest. Then adding on to that line comes the Han Solo in Carbonite. This is part of the same series. The idea is that you've got all the bounty hunters, then you get the Han Solo in Carbonite 6 scale. This piece, I love this piece so much. There's lots of light up features and then lots of little details. You can switch out this base. So the base can be set up so that it's either like this, floating along with Boba Fett in the Bespin hallways. You can also change out the base and then change the lighting effects in the base to reflect like an orange glow of the Carbonite chamber. And the whole thing can be displayed upright as if Han's just been encased in Carbonite. So this is going to be like a sick piece. People can add it to their collection for this ongoing line. This is not the last piece in the Scum and Villainy collection. I can't tell you what the next one is, but it is not the last piece. We've got more stuff to come. Have you paid your dues, Jack? Have you paid your dues? Yes, sir. Check is in the mail. Love this guy. Personal fanboy, as you can probably tell. Jack Burton is the coolest. we're so excited about this piece, and I'm happy to see that other people are too. You know, it's an incredible portrait. We're really, really proud. Our guys knocked it out of the park. Tons of cool, and again, I'm a sucker for tiny denim. What can I say? He's got his sweet Fu Manchu shirt. He has the knife accessory, he has his Tech 9, and he has a sweet feathered mullet. Like, who doesn't love a feathered mullet on a man, you know what I mean? Absolutely love Jack Burton, and the portrait, well, I think we did a great job. You know, we're pretty humble guys, but with this one, I'm like, yeah, I think we need to stand up. We're pretty proud of this one. He comes with his awesome little Guardian as well. This gross little monster. This isn't the exclusive, that actually comes with him on his little floaty base here. So I can see him appearing in some hilarious Instagram photographs in the future, I'm sure. Also super posable, down to the little leather strap on his watch, tons of detail, all the buttoning, all the fastening features. Yeah, I think he's pretty damn cool, and I hope you guys like him. It's not ready to show yet. This is just an unveiling of a concept.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll just film it and then, yeah.
This one we're really proud to show you guys. This is a prototype piece. A Swamp Thing maquette coming soon. It's just our first chance to finally see this piece that we've been working on for all this time. Designed by Paul Komoda. What's cool with this piece, one thing that I really love, not only is Paul a super fan, he's a hardcore Swamp Thing fan, but this was all done traditionally. This is Paul's style, it was all pencil on paper, all the scribbling, all the sketch design, no digital design, and then actually sculpted by hand. This is sculpted in wax. I apologize. This is sculpted in clay, so this was all hand sculpted, hand painted in-house, hand weathered by our very own Anthony Messas. We have a ton of crazy detail in here, all the vines, all the detailed knotwork. Then you see the textured base going into the water texture. He has a cool little angry little snapping turtle thing going on, cool little snake. It's just a killer piece. Now this will have an exclusive as well. I know what it is, but I'm not allowed to tell you what it is. So just rest assured it is awesome. If you're a hardcore Swamp Thing fan, you're gonna love the exclusive for this. Okay, so we had a cool idea with this is, imagine you are hit with the Scarecrow scare gas, right? You've just been hit with a dose of scare gas and Batman comes to rescue you. What do you see? So that was the vision that we gave our sculptors. The idea was to create a nightmare version of Batman he's supposed to be your savior, but you're terrified of him. Even down to the base, the idea is that he's standing on this gargoyle that's mutating right in front of you. It's coming forward to attack you. Every single piece of this is this twisted nightmare vision of Batman at this moment in time. So each of those individual bats and rats and bugs that's covered this, these are each individual sculpted, hand-painted pieces that are tacked on in there. All the underneath of the gargoyle, there's a whole nest of bats that are crawling out of it. Then Batman himself, the idea is that it's almost like this bruised, diseased, creepy version of his suit that's morphing into part of this monstrous being in front of you. So our guys are known for horror. Horror is our bread and butter, you know. I always say our roots are soaked in blood. That's where we came from. We were a horror company to begin with, working with Universal, working with Bernie Wrightson. So this is a chance for our guys and their horror roots really to shine. Casey Love paint job on this is nuts. It's all this melted, twisted fabric is turning into bats. It looks like a big bruise on the back. It's just incredible. This is the exclusive portrait, I believe. There is an alternate portrait which is more human-like, but his mask is slowly morphing into his face. It's really sick. Now this one, it is a prototype. Shipping and pricing is still to be determined, but this time at Comic-Con we just went all out. We wanted to show you all the prototypes, all the things we're working on, and we hope you guys like them as much as we do. Okay, so welcome to the face of insanity, folks. So the idea behind this, it's almost like it's part of our Nightmare line. It was to create like literally the craziness of the Joker is the man on the inside. You know, this is the dead mask of the Joker right here, but it shows the madness. It shows the craziness of this character. It's a freestanding life-size mask. It's not intended as a wearable mask. It's meant as a display piece. I'm sure people can do some pretty incredible things with this. One of the things we tried to play with was the idea that every time the Joker comes across a deck of cards, he steals the Joker out of the pack. You know, his calling card is the Joker card that he throws down, but the idea that he compulsively collects Jokers from packs of cards. So we designed like just hundreds of ridiculous packs of Joker cards, so many different ones from different styles and eras, to try and imagine this idea that it's a collection that he's built up. The exclusive for this is going to be this magnetic batarang thunking into one of his cards. It's going to run around about $350 for this awesome piece, and it's shipping the end of this year. Okay, so we have these two new pieces from Suicide Squad in premium format. We have Harley and the Joker, both of which I think are a great example of our kind of our ethos in terms of mixing fabric and sculptural elements. It's something that we've become known for. It's definitely a matter of pride for us to be able to mix these fabric pieces with the sculptural elements. So Harley, for example, you don't get clothes this scale. We have to tailor make this. This is custom made fabric that's all hand tailored in-house by our wonderful team. I believe this was Esther Segundas and Tim Hansen that worked on this piece. Each of the individual, the zip, the little J hanging off her zip there, that had to be custom made. Her jewelry, her belt, all of that's custom made. Even her stockings are real stockings. You know, this is a mixture, truly a mixed media piece, mixed in sculpture and fabric. Then the detail on this is just insane. We have detail all the way down to the writing on her bat, her tattoos, all have to be meticulously put onto this. It's definitely a labor of love. And then going on to the Joker, continuing the whole voice of insanity or whatever it was, face of insanity right here. I love the expression on this guy. So once again, it's crazy. You don't get quarter scale crocodile skin. Would we be trying to find quarter scale crocodiles to make this happen? You know, this is a tailor-made piece of fabric. So not only are we making custom-made material now, but then we're adding texturing and weathering on top of that. So this is a tailored coat. He has the tailored boxing shorts, even down to his awesome little Batman PJs going on right there. This is all custom-made fabric. And then working in over the top of that, not only is this wired so that you can tailor this coat, you can move the fabric to set it up how you want him to look, but then we'll go in and weather that, we'll detail it. It has little touches, just covered with tiny little things that are like our Sideshow trademark, all these extra little fancy pieces that we just love to do. Again, all of his tattoos, all these things are all done by hand. His gold, his bling, even those creepy silver teeth. Some cool little things like his rings on his fingers. The exclusive for this, if I remember correctly, is going to be like a cutthroat razor swap out. I should have mentioned Harley's swap out exclusive is going to be an oversized hammer as well. Pretty standard bases. The idea for this, we wanted our characters to really shine. It's not so much a character base as a standout stylized base. Then we have all of the intricate detailing and weathering on the base as well. This is the first time fans have seen the new portrait on our Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. This was a piece we were working on long before Batman vs Superman. It's been a long time coming, and we wanted to try and update the portrait ever so slightly, just because over the years of all the training that she's done, all the amazing work that she's put into bringing the physicality to the role, her face has changed slightly. You know, her body shape's changed too, but even in the portrait, her cheekbones have become more pronounced. So we did an alternate portrait that we've been working on, and this is the first time we get to unveil her at the show today. So the idea was we wanted the extreme detail, something that we're obviously known for, extreme realism and accuracy to the movie. But we were trying for a slightly different pose to everyone else. We wanted something a little bit more dynamic, and her expression to be a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more defiant. And it is something that we wanted, even back before Batman vs Superman days, we wanted a Wonder Woman that was, it wasn't like sultry pose Wonder Woman. This was a warrior. And I hope that fans enjoy it as much as we do. You know, this is something that once we saw the new movie, we were like, oh, damn, I think we got it, you know. This is a warrior woman, and hopefully people enjoy it. So we have Zatanna here. This one is definitely an in-house favorite with a lot of our staff. It's a piece we've been really looking forward to sharing with people. Again, trying to push the boundaries of mixture of sculpture and cut and sew. So there's a bunch of fabric in there. Her stockings are real stockings. Her coat is a real coat. Again, underwired and tailored so that you can pose it slightly. This is a first look at another prototype piece. We've been doing that a lot this year at Sideshow. We wanted to really, you know, Comic-Con is a celebration of this stuff for us, and it's a chance for us to really be really brutally honest with you guys and show you our prototypes. So here she is, his Batwoman in all of her glory. Again, trying to mix cut and sew with sculptural pieces. An awful lot of sculpted texture and detail on this one. We've been pushing the boundaries. If you've seen our Thanos piece in particular, trying to push the boundaries with 3D printed fabric elements. This gives us the ability to do really, really hyper detailed pieces. So you can see the different textures in her costume here, the raised bat symbol, all of the armor and pieces. Then we've added the sculpture element over the top. We've got a sculpted, the fabric element over the top. We've got a fabric cape right here, again, that's all wired so that you can pose it and tailor it. Really cool Gotham base. I hope fans like it. It's certainly one that we've really enjoyed working on. This is the exclusive right here with the double pistols. The pricing on that is still to be determined. Shipping date too. This is just a really early exclusive look at a portrait. So hopefully you guys are familiar with the work of Stanley Artgerm Lau. He's an awesome pinup artist, does really great, wonderful women. Just stunning work, and we've worked with him in the past on a couple of pieces, both as a concept artist and for our premium art print program. So we've sold art prints by him, we've created sculptures based on his designs, and this was really letting him go wild. We've got this excellent relationship with DC where they've given us the ability to do almost like a reimagining of those characters. And Stanley just went nuts, so this is like the Artgerm special. The idea is that these are catwalk inspired high fashion costumes. It's got a catwalk themed base. Lots of crazy detail and texturing, trying to convey different fabric materials. So you'll see panels that are semi-transparent, trying to sculpturally convey some of that high fashion catwalk vibe. One thing that I think is particularly cool on this piece is that we used paint effects to force lighting on these ones. So however you light them in your collection, the idea is they always look like they're spotlit, like they're on a runway. So this was Kat Sapine, I believe, painted these, and working in all these little details so that you actually have like a forced lighting effect, which I really dig. Last year we unveiled the Heat Seeker. We unveiled Deadpool Heat Seeker, which was a hugely popular figure. People really dug him in premium format. The idea being that this is like Deadpool at his most goofy. You know, he's leaping out of this explosion, this awesome explosion, leaping out, dodging a missile, cutting a grenade in half while taking a selfie. Just ridiculous Deadpool antics, just shenanigans all the way. So everybody loved that, and so we decided to up the ante. We did Lady Deadpool this year. Lady Deadpool obviously is an alternate reality, other dimension version Wanda Wilson, I think it is. The idea is that she's doing the whole anything you can do, I can do better. So she's standing on the crushed remains of his bike, roundhouse kicking this missile. She doesn't dodge missiles, she roundhouse kicks these missiles, and then she's actually cutting a bullet in half. You can actually see this bullet shatter and splay off in different directions. She has obviously the same design element in her costume. A lot of the pouches, a lot of the military gear is meant to duplicate what you have with Deadpool, and the idea is that these pieces are not only breaking the fourth wall, talking to you as a fan, but they're also kind of talking to each other. It's like, nah, I can do better than you. You know, this whole Nina thing, which I think just fits with Deadpool's attitude. We're proud to show a new X-Men piece for us. We have Magneto right here, levitating above this shattered Sentinel skull. So the idea behind this one, we knew from the start we wanted him to be levitating, and that was a challenge in itself. There's a lot of intricate work that went into making him be able to have this cool sort of anti-gravity vibe to him. Just incredible detail, really very proud of this one, and again mixing it with the fabric elements. He's got a wired cape, so you can pose it to have that flow like he's floating. Sick detail on the Sentinel. We actually designed an entire Sentinel, all the detail like we would a premium format figure, just to chop him up for these figures, to use him as a destructive piece. So we have the head right here, and then just for this show we decided to bring along the prototype of the next one in the series, which is Wolverine right here. So Wolverine's like climbing on this shattered Sentinel hand, just raring to go, ready to kick someone else's ass. He has actual metal claws, which I love, and this is the unpainted prototype, so this is the first look at the next one. It's part of a series. We did a whole Sentinel and you're only seeing 2 bits, so let's just say we have lots of bits of Sentinel left. I expect to see more, guys, but this is certainly the direction we're heading in, and we're proud to be doing more X-Men pieces. So here's our baby Groot figure. This is an all-new maquette. The first look at this awesome new piece, which will hopefully be going up for pre-order pretty soon. This was done in conjunction with Legacy Effects, formerly Stan Winston Studios. These are the guys that made the maquette that was used for the scan for Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's an awesome relationship. We've worked with these guys on a bunch of pieces. Their work is incredible. And what it does is it allows us to do 100% accuracy. This is exactly the same as the Groot in the movies, guys. Like every one of those little leaves that's on there, every little vine, every single piece, that's the one. That's the dude that was in the movie, the little guy. There he is. He's just stepped off the screen. So the idea is behind this is it's going to be actually part of our one-to-one series. It seems kind of crazy to say it like that, but this is a life-size figure. This is a Sideshow life-size figure. Yeah, they're utterly accurate. There are other Groots in our collection. We have an awesome Hot Toys life-size Groot as well, which is a posable figure. The idea behind this one is it's a little bit higher end, more for people who love the high-end statuary and people who want that extreme detail. They want something that's exactly the same as the one from the movie. He has an awesome grill base, which is actually going to have a soft lighting effect coming up through the grill on the final piece, which I'm really pleased with. Then the exclusive for this is going to be a switch-out portrait with like a laughing face, which is super adorable. Now the pricing and the shipping information is still to be determined. This is the first look, but yeah, we can't wait to show you this. So we have Skeletor right here. He runs about $450 and he's actually shipping really soon. So Skeletor it's like our interpretation of the character. He's this darker version of one of the Masters of the Universe villains, but hopefully with enough of the iconic line to him that you guys are still really digging this like classic cartoon vibe, but with a Sideshow twist. It's got all of the cut and sew that you guys love on the fabric, then a bunch of weathering on it. It looks all rotted. It's super awesome. Then with the snake mountain base with the lava coming out of his mouth, just a really sick piece. It's got that like Conan swords and sandals fantasy awesomeness, and bringing that to the Masters of the Universe line. And then by cheery contrast, we've got the amazing She-Ra. I love this piece so much. So She-Ra is the very latest piece that we've unveiled in our Masters of the Universe line. The Princess of Power. I mean, what can you say? She's amazing. Really kind of awesome backstory. I love She-Ra's story in that she's this freedom fighter, and she kind of doesn't have the secret identity, unlike He-Man. She's just like straight badass. She doesn't disguise herself. She's out there fighting the Horde. She's this awesome rebellious character, but still a princess. I always thought that was really cool. She-Ra, awesome pose, stepping down on this Etheria themed base. Good grief, I'm losing my voice. Awesome styled costume. Then you have the tailored cape again. Real metal in the sword, so that's going to have an awesome weight to it. It's going to have that sheen it's real metal, you know, instead of a painted effect. Then the exclusive is her shield. Now in some of the comic books, some of the cartoons, she actually had the ability to wield a shield as well, and we wanted to give a nod to that. We want to have like definitely a fan service piece, you know, something that the real hardcore fans are going to enjoy as an exclusive. So we already released an Evil-Lyn recently. She was super popular, really well received. Again, going with that sort of swords and sandals fantasy vibe, reincarnation of the characters. But then what we wanted to do was a classic version prototype piece to do like an exclusive variant. One where she's got much more like the cartoon from your childhood. She's got this awesome, like, sickly yellow skin. She doesn't have all the bells and whistles. She's just straight like the one from the cartoon. So she's been unveiled at the show today as a prototype. Again, pricing and release date still TBD. But again, we wanted to really show you guys a bunch of prototypes, really show you what's going on behind the scenes and what we're working on right now, guys. Every now and then they really go our sculptors a challenge, and this one was, we want Luke at a very specific moment in time. The idea is that he's arrived on Cloud City. He's right there. He's about to face Vader for the first time. But this is a guy who, think about it, right? He's not betrayed Yoda, but he's gone against Yoda's wishes. He hasn't finished his training. After that whole attempt at raising an X-Wing, he's doubting the Force. He's doubting everything that he's believed in. He knows that his friends are in peril. If he doesn't go, they might die. The idea is this is a scared Luke. This is Luke at his lowest point. He's full of fear. He's full of confusion. And he's at this position where he could get turned. This is a guy that and then he faces Vader. Vader just steps out of nowhere. And it's like the idea is that this is Luke at it. You know, he's weathered. He's damaged. He's scared. So you'll see other Lukes in our collection where he's a little bit more pristine. You know, he's got the hero thing going on. But the idea here is we wanted that troubled expression. We want the haunted eyes. We want a disheveled Luke, one that's been hanging out on Dagobah going through this brutal training, and he's full of self-doubt. So whether that's through the pose, the expression, even the fabric, the way that it's weathered and worn and damaged, we're trying to capture an exact moment in time. And I think the guys crushed it. I think it's pretty sick, and I hope you guys love it too. So K2SO is kind of an interesting one. We have this wonderful relationship with Lucasfilm. We have the opportunity to work on assets quite far in advance. So we knew from the start, we saw this character, we saw this designer, we knew we had to make him, but we didn't know his place in the world at that time. We didn't know the whole story behind him, we didn't know his character, but we were like, we gotta make this robot, he's just sick. So we began designing him very, very early on. A lot of design went into this, and our guys really tried to get every single element, every single one of those pistons and gears. One of the cool things about K2's design is he has all these hollow joints, he has all these negative space elements where you can see his inner workings. So our guys went to town trying to get all those crazy, crazy details. And then once we saw the movie, once we saw this guy, we realized that he's kind of an interesting character, right? You've got this enforcer droid, you've got this, Imperial badass that's been reprogrammed. And he's been reprogrammed with actually like quite a fun character. He's the comic relief, but he's also super intimidating. He's also a kick-ass enforcer droid. And then there's also this pathos, this sadness to him, and they were able to convey all of that really well. So, we had to do that justice. We had to try and find a way of posing this guy so that, like one of our project managers said, it's like, is he going to kick your ass or crack a joke? You know, that's what we want. We want you read into it yourself, the personality that you want to convey in your K2 piece. Now, one of the challenges with him was that as a CG character, he didn't actually have to stand. He didn't have to worry about balance. And making him was a challenge. He's an incredibly top-heavy design with these very thin limbs and hollow joints. So normally we would have maybe a hidden steel rod or something like that to be able to give it that stability. And his hollow ankles and knees stopped us from doing that. So he was a huge challenge. What we ended up doing is actually casting metal limbs for this guy. His legs are the steel rods. You know, we took those pieces and made them an integral part of the design. So this is most definitely a mixed media piece. He has steel elements in there. We have 3D printed pieces, and then once again that Sideshow attention to detail with all of the weathering, all of the hand weathered, all the details going in. And just kind of as a funny aside, because we have these high res, super awesome, crazy detail files, we're like, we have the detail to go bigger. We should go bigger. So we actually made a life-size version as well. This is the droid you're looking for, dudes. You gotta get a hold of this guy. So, as I mentioned before, when we were working on the K2 project, we'd gone into such incredible detail that we just wanted to see if we could go life-size. You know, this was a challenge for us, and it was definitely a proof of concept to see if we could do this. It's pushed the limits of 3D printing. It's definitely made us up our game. We had to work on, again, the ability to make this guy freestand. As a CGI character, he didn't need to balance. So the challenge of making such a top-heavy design balance was tough. And it's been a lot of fun making him happen. So this is the prototype right here. I'm just being told to move by a photographer. Hang on. So this is the prototype right here. All hand weathered by Mr. Anthony Mestas, one of our in-house guys. Incredible guy, really, really good at doing the hand weathering, hand texturing, super detail. You can see all the way down to his knuckles that every single piece of this guy is weathered by hand. So this is the prototype. First look at a new piece that we're hoping to bring to you guys in the future. This is something we intend to sell. It's not just an art piece for the show. So hopefully 2018 for a release, hopefully. We'll wait and see. But definitely check out our site. Go to sideshow.com/coming soon, and you'll see K2SO life-size on there. Hit the RSVP button if you're interested in purchasing a life-size K2 for your own house, and then we'll send you the information as soon as you have more details.